Step 1. Be German, or Buddhist, or both. You have to start with the right materials. Germans think hard and get fantastically intense about things. That's a good starting point. But you also have to get things done. You have to assert yourself in the world of action. Well, Germans are pretty intense about that too. They go to ridiculous lengths sometimes, like the 30 Years' War. Half of them ended up dead. That was back in the 17th century, but more recent episodes indicate that they haven't lost their touch. And these things always end the same way. Wait a minute. Maybe that's not how we should be thinking about changing the world. Don't want to put you off. But changing the world can be kind of messy. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
America's most powerful leaders are drawn from elite and secretive societies based at its universities and known as the Greek system. Each year it seeks new members. Basic instincts are used to attract the men into fraternity houses. And in stark contrast, the women are wooed into sorority houses. If chosen by a sorority or fraternity, these students believe they will have a lifelong advantage in getting into positions of power.
There's a high chance that you're getting a snapshot of the men and women that just went through this process, that joined membership, are going to be the future leadership of this country in 5 or 10 years.
But this is no ordinary week. It's August 1998, and the best-known Greek member in the United States, still in denial about his sexual misdemeanors, is having his leadership values closely scrutinized.
My name is June. You answered my advertisement a couple of weeks ago.
June Smith and Marion Hall face a problem that nowadays affects hundreds of thousands of women in Britain. They're over 50, divorced, and desperate to remarry.
I just look at myself in the mirror every morning and I think, look, girl, time is not on your side.
But if dating seems problematic when you're young, it's a lot harder when you're over 50.
He looked like a little boy, and I mean, I felt monstrous.
Tonight on Real Life, we watch what happens when Marion and June use a dating agency and newspaper ads to try to find love one last time, in a world where women outnumber men by almost 3 to 1.
He was chunky, but he was ever so sweet.
I want to hear him say, when he introduces me, this is my wife.
Chicago, hog butcher to the world, and cattle, and sheep. The Union Stockyards, a symbol of Chicago for more than a century.
From 1893 to 1933, there was no year in which less than 13 million head of livestock were unloaded at the stockyards.
The yards were big business and grueling work.
Heat, was terrible, and stench was even worse.
Their fame spread across the country and attracted tourists by the thousands.
We'd go right into the hog kill, the steam and everything else. You'd lose a lot of people during that period of time.
The stockyards earned Chicago its reputation for toughness and hard work, but by 1971, they were gone.
There was this thing called automation, the idea that machines could really do more of men's work.
The Union Stockyards, next on Chicago Stories.
A top executive marries a respected author.
They had great communication, really strong love.
Kathleen was this incredibly vibrant, fun person.
Then she dies in their home. He says it was an accident, but investigators think otherwise.
This was a suspicious death.
Concern grows when authorities learn about another death 16 years earlier.
It occurred to us that we might have a second homicide.
I just said, my God, it's a tornado. Just a wall of debris was coming at us.
It was just like you take a building, you put it in a blender, you put the blender in gear and spit it out.
My first thought was, I do need to get help because my husband and my daughter are trapped in the car.
When you know your child's back there and you can't do anything about it, and all I can think of is that she's going to choke to death on blood.
It was definitely a life or death struggle going on with the baby inside of the car.
Welcome to Chartburn. Strap yourself in as we accelerate through the hottest top 10s of everything you'll need to stay ahead of the pack. This week we've got Bryan Adams, the Backstreet Boys well back, Supergrass meet the Muppets, and Lara Croft swinging in Tomb Raider 2. But crouched at the starting line and roaring to go, it's the top 10 UK singles chart. At number 10, it's Basement Jaxx and Red Alert. Where I come from, a Basement Jaxx is a toilet in your cellar, but there you go.